Okay, this calls to order the International Segway Polo Association Board of Directors meeting for Tuesday, October 7th, 2014. Sherry, will you take roll, please?
Yes, Ross.
Here.
Van Riesen.
Here.
Krahforst.
Here.
Steve Ozdemir.
Here.
Sherry Ozdemir is here.
All right. Good to have a full board. This is great. Would anybody like to approve the minutes from the August 13th meeting? Okay, I'll vote to approve the minutes from the August 13th meeting. So moving on. I didn't see anything wrong with the minutes. I thought they were great, Sherry. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we don't have any scheduled presentation, but we do have some action items. First is the funky battery proposal, which is pending in action by the newly seated Rules Committee. Mr. Ozdemir.
They are in the process of selecting their chairman. I imagine it'll be their first item of business.
Okay. Do they know that the approval of those for the rules is essentially a formality? The board did make a formal approval of those and send out an actual certificate?
Yes, I did convey that to them. In this situation, it's more they're going to update the rules along with any other changes and then give us a new rule set.
Okay, perfect. That's awesome. All right, ISPA membership renewal. Sherry and I, Sherry, we can meet on that to go through and show that. The way that I think that works best is for you and I to spend time setting up an automatic notification to the members. The only thing that changes is the members have to be removed out of, or the non-members have to be removed out of the, there's two groups. There's ISPA, which is a public group, and then there's ISPA members only, which is a private group. And they have to be removed out of the ISPA members only group if they don't choose to renew. And then that way they can't get into the back end of the website, and there's information back there and stuff. So that's really the only thing that we need to do on that side, and to generate or to create the automatic email that goes out and says, hey, you need to renew, and test that, which shouldn't be a big problem. But I think bigger than that situation is as a group, we need to decide what we're going to charge for membership. Originally, Bo will remember this, we came up with, our goal was to get to a $75 per member membership per year, but we didn't have a lot of benefits for the players, and we're still lacking those as we've set up the organization. I think that the next board will take the benefit side of this, and I hope that and encourage them to try to get more benefits. I mean, that's really the big push for the members, is to show them benefits. So my proposal would be that we stick to the $35 membership, which is very economical and gives the board enough revenue to sort of keep going. Doesn't give us the revenue that we want to be able to help out a WAS Cup or a Zurich Cup or something of that nature, but does give us the ability to move on. And without, it gives people skin in the game, if you want to call it that. Any thoughts?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, sure. Good.
Okay, so from a financial standpoint, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't generate a huge amount of money for ISPA. It's a couple $1,000s, but it's a couple thousand that we didn't have, and we still don't have benefits to offer the members, to the point, I mean, the Rules Committee is now a big benefit for the member, and so I think that we're adding some, but we need to continue to look for additional benefits.
I think a 501c is also a huge benefit.
Correct. The 501c will be a huge benefit for the members, because it'll enable ISPA to get better sponsorship.
Correct.
So Sherry, you and I are going to work after the meeting. Do you want? I can't do it today, but are you available to? Is there another time that works better for you? Do you have times and dates that might work?
I only have times and dates that don't work, which would be Tuesday and Wednesday evenings.
And
okay.
Also,
other times are pretty open.
More than 3 weeks from now would be a problem too, I believe.
Let's see here. Sorry. So you said Tuesday and Wednesday evenings you are not good, but is during the day okay on, like, do you have tomorrow during the day at any time?
Sure.
Okay. So why don't you, when you get a chance, just shoot me a time frame. I have nothing on my calendar tomorrow, so I'm going to be in the office working on internal things all day.
Okay, sounds great. I'll get in touch with you after the meeting.
Okay, perfect. Any other things on item 5B on the membership renewal? Anything anybody wants to add?
Yeah, I talked to Mark Weller on the Zurich Cup, and he told me he paid a fee and he get an email from Teamer, but the information in this email was very, very old.
What do you mean the information from, was this a
welcome letter? Probably.
Yeah, it's probably the welcome letter, and it probably had old WASCUP information in it.
Yes.
I've updated it since then. I've updated it after he joined, and in fact, that's a good question. Let me just pull it up real quick and see what's in there. And again, this will be updated from Sarah and I's perspective. So let's see here. Oops. Sorry, just logging in here. Okay. Communicate email. And that's going to be from ISPA. And I'm going to open our message. Send new members to update their profile and load it. Currently, it says it's got the Polo and Paradise tournament on there from Barbados. So that's the only thing that's updated or that's would have a date on there. Come join the Segway Polo Club for Polo in Barbados. Some fun in the sun and on the field. Everything else is standard. There's no date associated with it. It's just a welcome to the ISPA. Thanks for joining. For the 2014 calendar year, and then talks about benefits and encourages them to update their profile.
Yeah, I think he meant the tournament in Barbados, so maybe we could delete it. Just as part of the message.
Yeah, it's pretty it is pretty easy to change. So. I'm going to go, oops, I just did something stupid. Hang on here. I'm just going to, your email address is BOFI, what is it, Bo, your email address?
BOFI 1973 at web.de.
WEB as in boy, web.de?
Yeah, it's web.de, yes.
I just sent you the same message he got so you could see it, so it's coming from Teamer. All right, so, and we can change that at pretty easily. So that's good. I'll go ahead and make, what we'll add on there, Sherry, is we can add WASCUP 2015 on there.
Sounds good.
To intro email from Teamer. Okay. Item 5C, upcoming board of directors elections. So the process we use to do elections is a third-party website called Election Buddy. And Election Buddy is the least expensive election website that I found. They do charge $19 per per election. It's free, but only up to 20 members. And since we have a lot more members than 20, it does end up costing us more, or we do have to pay for our elections. But we already do have most everything set up. Sherry, Steve, and I are familiar with how the program works, but we can have up to 200 people vote for $19 US. I went ahead and paid it last time, and I can pay it again this time. I don't have a problem with that. But what we need to do is put out the call. Sherry, do you still have or Bo, either one, do you guys still have the language you used for putting out the call for elections for this, I believe you guys posted it.
I imagine I do, but I would have to check.
Okay. And Bo, did I hear you say yes?
Yeah, sure. We posted on Facebook. No problem.
Okay. Well, I think that we should come up with the dates and put out the call for nominations right away. That way we can run the election on time this year, which would be great. So, date-wise, let's see here. If I remember, let's see, I have to go and look, but the election process is not part of the bylaws, just the outcome is basically part of the bylaws. In other words, the time frames and things. If I remember, we opened it up for 3 weeks or a month for nominations to be submitted, and then we had the voting was over the course of 1 week. Does that sound right, Sherry?
It may have been longer than 1 week.
I agree.
I think it was 2 weeks.
Yep.
Was it 2 for voting?
I think so.
So why don't we set a standard, and then I'll write a document and I'll save it into the ISPA files so that we have that. Any comments? I mean, I think a month for people to put in their nomination is fine.
Yeah, that sounds.
Yeah.
A month for self-nomination or nominations, whoever wants to step forward in whatever fashion.
Well, actually, it's not whatever fashion. I don't believe that we allow third-party nominations. Well, we do, but the way that it worked was, let's say Alexander nominated Bo, then we would send a message to Bo and say you've been nominated, and he would have to accept his nomination.
Exactly.
And if he doesn't accept it, then he's not in. So it's really only self-nominations, but 1 month.
I still think the third-party nomination is good in that it encourages, it allows one polo player to encourage another one to participate.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I just never wanted to put someone on without them agreeing to do it. That's all.
Oh, I agree. I agree. You need to get the person who's been nominated to send you an email saying, yes, I do want to run for this. It's not enough for a third party just to state they should be running.
And then once nominations are over, we should give the approved candidates some time to put their bio together. Last time, I think that was a concern that we didn't give enough time to have people be able to get their bios together. So how long should we do that?
I would think 10 days should be enough, personally. You think that's not too short?
I think that's long, but that's me.
Yeah, I think it's too long.
I think maybe a week. Do you guys, Bo, Alexander?
Yeah, 7 days. That sounds all right.
A week from when? After the nomination part, or?
Yeah, after nominations close, they would have then the candidates would have 1 week to submit their bios. Or do you think we should give longer?
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Well, if this is the case, we're talking about a 7-week process. And we only have 10 weeks left, 11 weeks left in the year.
Yeah. So
right.
I'm thinking we're okay. We're still in time frame.
I think we have to start the nomination process in the next 2 weeks, or else we will run up against the holidays.
Correct. I agree. I think I'm hoping that we can come up with a process to start and have the dates published in the next couple of days or right away. I don't see any reason why we would wait. Alexander, do you have any problem with 1 week for the submission of your bio after the nominations close?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think if you get no, I think that's good.
Okay, and then once the bio is submitted, then we would need some time. Sherry, if you remember, it took some time to kind of put the bios into the election buddy.
That didn't seem too hard.
Okay.
It was just getting them all together and putting them on.
Okay, so then we would start, after the bio submission, we would start how much longer after that until until voting can start?
I want to add something.
Yeah, go ahead.
If someone's running unopposed, I don't think a bio is really necessary. Just pointing it out.
Well, it would be their option. I mean, they can submit one or not.
Right. But I don't think we should hold up the process. If they're running unopposed, they don't want to take the time to do a bio, then that's fine.
Yeah, I guess if they're running unopposed, I would say that's fine.
Okay.
Any other problem? Anybody disagree? All right. So how long? So now we've got a month for nominations, 7 days once nominations close to put the bio in, and then Sherry, how long do we need to say, okay, we can pull the site together and make it and put it open?
Well, I think we can do most of the stuff up front and just wait for the bios. So I would say it only take a couple days after all the bios are submitted.
Okay, so I'm going to put 2 to 3 days admin time, and then election starts. And how long do we want to give for the election?
2 weeks.
I think 2 weeks is what we had before.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody disagree?
Nope.
Okay. So the election will start in 2 weeks, and then notifications 24 hours after close.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Sherry?
24 hours, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. That seems okay.
Yeah, the stuff's all tabulated, so really it's just the amount of time it's going to take to put together the Facebook post that says congrats.
Right, exactly.
Unless, of course, there's a demand for a recount or hanging chads.
Yeah. Of course, U.S. people get that, but yeah.
It's a U.S. joke about an old presidential election about 10 years ago.
Yeah, we actually had, for Alexander and Bo, we had a process where you actually punctured a piece of paper. You pushed a hole through a piece of paper, and there was some question as to whether sometimes the hole that you'd push through would rip the puncture, or the perforated portion. It would rip through, or it would sort of hang on there. And people were saying, well, if it's not ripped through completely, then it's not a true vote, and it was this huge hassle.
Right.
So,
and as a consequence of that, I believe, was it Bush got a second term, or was it the first term? I forget. Either way.
The second.
I think it was the second term, the hanging chads.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
It was
so
Florida, was it?
Yes, Florida.
It was Florida. That's right. You do know
Correct.
about it. I'm surprised.
Get it on the news here.
Hopefully we won't get anything that serious going on during our ISPA election.
Okay, so do we need to? So when do we want? What's the goal on the actual announcement? Obviously, we have holidays in December. Is there anything in the in Europe from a? Is the holiday schedule for December fairly close to the U.S.? I mean, ours is basically from, what would you say, guys, the 15th on?
Yeah, last 2 weeks of the year for America.
That's nearly the same in Germany.
And Alexander, how are you guys in Sweden as far as December holidays? Does it kind of start heating up for you guys around the 15th?
No, I would say this year it's just have a look at the calendar. It's basically the week before Christmas. Now, people usually work until the 19th.
Okay. So since So that's better, right, for everything else. I would say that we then
counting backwards, Rob.
Yeah, go ahead. That's what I'm counting back.
We need to do this by October 20th.
In order to what?
To meet the time schedule that you just proposed of 2 weeks for the election, 1 week for bios, and 4 weeks for candidacy.
Sounds reasonable.
So yeah, so I'm. That's what I was trying to find out though, is when the election's going to end. So
I assumed you meant December 15th.
Well, yeah, that's on a Monday. So the question is should we? That was really where I was going with this. Is do we want to call elections over on the 15th, and then that would mean that we would announce on the 16th, and that goes right into the holiday, and then the new board would take over in January at the first meeting. And the old board, Bo, and I know you're talking about running. I won't be, but if the old board would need to be at the first meeting in January to sort of turn things over to the new board. That's sort of how it works. So
yeah, sure.
So okay, so then it doesn't really matter. I mean, I would say we'd end on the 12th and announce on the Saturday on the 13th when people aren't at work and stuff. Does that sound reasonable to everybody or not?
Yep, and if you do that, then you need to get this announcement out in the next 10 days.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Okay.
So election, I'm just writing this backwards. Election, announce December 13th. And that means that the elections close. Elections close.
Maybe my math may be wrong. Maybe I'm off by 1 week.
That's right, December 12th. And then we have, let's see, notification, 2 weeks.
But it stops at December 12th at 12 o'clock at night, right?
Right, which would be...
So it would be 1 minute of the 13th, and it ends.
Yeah, that's correct. So I'm saying, so I'm going to say midnight. That's correct. And it's midnight Greenwich Mean Time, by the way, guys.
Right. And I think I did my math wrong. You actually have 17 days to get the announcement out, I think.
Okay. So let's work backwards with the dates, if you guys can give me a hand with that. So what do we have prior to that? 2 weeks. It says 2 weeks for notifications.
So on November 28th, the election starts, I think. Or if not, within a day of then. Okay?
Yeah, election starts.
And so on Halloween and then you have to go back a week for the bios.
Wait, December 12th minus 2 weeks is the 5th.
28th is the 28th.
And then the 28th. Okay,
right.
So November.
And go back to the 21st for bios, right?
And then so bios.
And then go back.
So bios are due by the. Bios are due. No, it's not the 21st. Bios submittal is
prior to voting.
Yeah. So bios submittal is there's 3 days for admin before the election starts.
Oh,
so the election starts the 28th. That means that the 25th, and then we go 7 days prior to the 25th.
18th, got it.
And that would be the 18th. So the bio submittal is due, bio submittal ends on November 25th and begins, bio submit. I'll put this in an email to you guys all as well, plus I'm assuming it'll be in the minutes. Bio begins, and I'll make sure and shoot you an email too, Sherry, so we have it. On November 18th. Okay, and then so that means 1 month before the 18th, which is going to be the 28th of October, is when nominations will begin. If we want to run it perfectly on that, it would begin on a Tuesday. Anybody have any objection to what day of the week it starts?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
All right. Nominations close on November 18th, midnight, and nominations open on October 21st. 21st?
Oh, great.
18, 1, 2, oh yeah, correct. October 21.
It's always easier to check when you're not doing the writing or typing.
Yeah, and it's just right.
Should we start nomination on the 19th? So it's Sunday. It's easier to recognize than the 21st.
Yeah, I would think that even the 18th is fine to start nominations on. To me, if we go October 18th to November 18th, it's a full month instead of 4 specific weeks.
Okay.
Yes.
Sounds good.
All right. So to recap forward now instead of reverse, nominations open on October 18th at midnight GMT. Nominations close on November 18th at midnight GMT. Bio submittal is open for those candidates by on November 8th. Oh, wait a minute, we forgot. There's no. We have to. Well, I guess we would notify people.
Yeah. On the 18th.
During the whole process. It wouldn't just be the 18th, because if someone gets submitted as a third party, wouldn't we notify them immediately? Like, if
we would notify them immediately, and if there's some discrepancy of that person got greater notification, well, then they should have put their name in sooner.
Okay.
Yeah, and we also should send them an email. You are nominated, and if you want to run, please send us your bios as soon as possible.
Yes.
Okay.
It is
No
latest
problem.
time to the date we mentioned.
Okay. So
So
nominations
it would be
open.
not a problem if I'm a candidate at the 22th of October. I can send you my bios right now, and then I'm done.
Actually, yeah, that's correct. As long as you send it in, but you would still have to be nominated by the 18th of November.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. So nominations open October 18th. Nominations close November 18th. Bio submittals begin or open on the same day, November 18th, and bio submittal closes on November 25th. We have an admin between the 25th and the 28th to sort of get everything ready for election. The election starts November 28th. It ends December 12th, and we announce on the 13th of December who the new member who won the seats, and that would put the first meeting at January 4th. I would recommend we don't do that first week and we push the first meeting to the 11th.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Okay, so that's the way that elections will go. I'll cover the cost of the election buddy for this particular election, so we won't have to worry about that. Any other questions on the election, how it's going to work? Sherry, you and Bo can send out the information if you still have it. But if you need me to write something, please just let me know and I'll get that going. And I'll get the dates to you guys so you have all this.
If we could handle this like the last time, Cheryl, it would be good. If you post it on Facebook in English, I will translate it into German.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, Bo.
that's very easy then for me.
Okay.
And Sherry, you might want to put at the top of your post that Bo will be providing translation at the top of your post.
Sure.
Yeah.
And the German
we
will
should
jump down.
Yeah, and we should also send it via email to the team captains, because not everybody is on Facebook.
I think it goes out. Doesn't it go out via Teamer to everybody? The announcement for the election, like last time.
Yeah, we're going to send it out through Teamer to everybody that there's an election. And my goal is to show Sherry how to do that so that when the new board starts, she can pass that knowledge on as well. And hopefully, by the time we get a couple of boards in here, that Teamer will just be used as a standard and people can do it through there. Because there is ways, and Sherry, we'll just probably play with it a little bit, but there is ways. Teamer has built-in Facebook notifications, so when we send out an email, we can tell it at the same time, hey, by the way, put this on Facebook.
Yeah, I saw that. I wasn't quite sure how it worked, but I did see the feature in there.
Yeah, we can play with it. So, anyway. All right, moving on. Item 6, informational items. Rules Committee has been seated. Congratulations, Steve. You want to talk a little bit about that and the process and everything?
I'd like to congratulate the new committee members. So Olaf, Mark, both from Germany, Mark Weller from UK, Brett from Barbados, and Ron from the USA are now composing the Rules Committee. They're in the process of selecting a chairman, and I think they'll have that done soon. And at that point, they'll start.
Steve, is there 5 committee members?
Yes, there are 5 committee members. We were intending to have a few alternates, but we didn't get enough candidates for that.
Okay.
So,
That's huge.
Yeah, and it's a very experienced group. That's the one thing I really want to emphasize. Each of these guys, almost every one of them has been playing for over 3 to 4 years, and I think the majority of them have refed. So we have all the experience we want. This is absolutely the outcome we wanted. In terms of having people who were very knowledgeable and had seen lots of variations and understood why one rule, while it looks good on paper, is very hard to enforce when you're out on the field. And so I'm looking forward to seeing the next set of rules and what changes they have planned for us and for WAS Cup 2015.
That's great. Well, congratulations to all those people, and beyond congratulations, thanks for helping us do this. That's the Rules Committee is one of the most vital things to the entire ISPA and our sport, and as Olaf has in the past added some rules that have made major changes and major differences. I'm looking forward to seeing what those guys have in store for everybody. So that's going to be great. Do we know when their first meeting is?
They're still selecting a chairman, and as soon as they get done with that, I would imagine they'll give us a schedule of when their meetings will be and when they'll give us reports.
Okay, great. Sorry about that. Typing as we're doing this. Very cool. Anything about the process? Did you find that people understood the process? Was there any issues with that or anything?
It turned out that with the 5 candidates, we didn't need to hold the election. And so that worked out well. Made things far simpler and wrapped things up fairly quickly. If we had more candidates, we would have done the election among the experienced candidates to ensure that the majority of the board was filled with experienced people, and then done random selection for anyone who didn't win the election or didn't have experience. And it was much simpler this time. But going forward, 2 years from now, when we do this again, if we have a larger number of candidates, we do have a process in place ready to handle that situation.
That's great. That's good. I'm looking forward to seeing what those guys have got going on. Okay, any comments on the Rules Committee on that informational item?
Nope.
Nope.
All right. So item number 7, new business not on the agenda. Couple things that I added there. 501c3 update. No news is good news. I have not gotten a rejection at this point, and so I believe that we're in process. I will be able to check according to the federal government. I will be able to check within the next 2 weeks to find out if we are in process or approved. And once we are either one, then we can start running as a nonprofit organization without a number. But we will be official as a nonprofit charity organization, which will really help Alexander in moving forward with Segway Inc., which I think is a good thing. So we're hopefully down to the last 2 weeks. This has been a almost 2-year process, so that's good. Taxes, because we're not a nonprofit organization, the United States government still sees any income that we have as taxable. I have been working with the public accountant that does my company's taxes, and she said that she will go ahead and file our back taxes at the end of the year, and the only cost associated with that would be just any filing costs, which hopefully will be nothing. So she's going to do that for free. So
that's great.
that's a huge boon for us, and that way we'll be caught up and compliant and making sure that with the government. And then from then on, I would recommend that at the November meeting, I will make sure and have a cost from her of, it's just filing a single paper at that point each year. So the cost would be minimal, but I would recommend and propose at that meeting in November that if the cost is reasonable enough that the board just retain her to do that every year. And I think it's minimal, meaning, if it's $100, I mean, I don't know, it's going to be something very small. But that way she will keep up on that and file that on a yearly basis so that our taxes and reported income as a nonprofit will be handled. So made that happen, and that's done. So those are the only two things that I had on new business. Anybody else?
I was just going to add that really puts the new board of directors on a very sound footing. Financially, there's funds there, and at least with the American government, it sounds like everything's been put in order so that we're a functioning organization.
Yeah, that's the biggest goal was to make sure that we have that we have a foundation for the next board to be able to really do something with the organization. And being a real organization has been a challenge, especially personally with me having a few months that I wasn't able to really do much. And then all the work that everybody else has put into. I think it's going to be I think we'll end with a bang, at least this for the people that aren't going to be continuing on with the board. Definitely end with a bang. So that's good. I'm really looking forward to that. And finally, BOD member comments. Any comments or anything?
For the next meeting, I may be on holiday because I go to Africa for 4 weeks. So
Are you aware that there's Ebola in Africa going on?
Yeah, but you know how big Africa is. You could put
it's pretty big.
In there.
Well, actually, I think I read about an Ebola case in the U.S.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have one reported case in the U.S. That's correct.
Yeah. So that's far away where I went. I went to South Africa.
Oh, okay. So
That is
far away.
It's very far.
That's very far away. So I'm absent from the, let me see, the 13th of October. 30th of October until the 28th of November.
Okay, so you will not be at the next meeting then. I will be there. Sherry, we need to make sure we have a quorum. Alexander, are you still available? Next meeting time would be November. I think it's slated for the 4th.
So I can check. Yeah, I would be yes, November 4th I would be available. I'm going to be in Ireland that evening, attending a conference, but it should be that I could call from the hotel, or that I could connect to from the hotel.
Okay, great. All right, well then, so Bo, good luck in the Africa. Are you going on a safari, a vacation? You and Bearable, or what's going on?
Yeah, me and Bearable we go to camping safari, and we go to the Victoria Falls, and then to the Okawanga Delta, and Etosha Park, and Namibia, South Africa, Kapstadt, and then we go back to Germany.
Wow.
We are making a camping trip.
Jens, have you been there before?
No, never.
Okay. If you drop me an email or Facebook message, for how long are you going to stay in Cape Town for?
3 days, but we have a private guide there.
Okay, cool.
If you next time you talk to Kelsey, Bo, ask her. She was also did a safari in Africa.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I will do.
It's a great place. You will have a great time.
Yeah, I hope. I really need holiday.
Well, I was there between 2004 and 2006 on various occasions.
Ah, okay.
Had a business down there.
Is it Alexander? Is it I know this is a horrible impression. Actually, you know what? Let's close the meeting and then we talk about this. Sorry about that for anybody who's listening out there. With that, we'll go ahead.
I did have one or two comments.
Oh, please go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Steve, go ahead.
First thing is I followed up with Tennessee. It's a no-go. I think basically economic conditions have prevented them from moving forward with Segway Polo. At least that was my impression. The other thing is I'm still trying to get in touch with the Singapore people who are potentially going to start up more as a commercial operation. And then the last thing I was going to say is in the Bay Area here, we have the guy from China who did a very good job of introducing Segway Polo to hundreds of people in China, and he's looking to do this in the Bay Area, again, in a similar fashion, and I've been working with him off and on for the last couple months, and that is moving forward, but just rather slowly. I expect in the next 3 months we'll start seeing whether this will take hold or not.
Okay, great.
And I think that's about it in terms of people I've been dealing with in terms of fostering Segway Polo across the planet. Thanks.
I should have asked Alexander, Commissioner comments, board comments?
No further comments.
Sherry?
No, not at this time.
Bo, anything for you?
Nope.
Okay, and I don't either, other than just to say congratulations to the Rules Committee again, and we're really looking forward to working with you guys. That sounds great. All right, this will close the October 7th, 2014 Board of Directors meeting for the International Segway Polo Association.